Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast with Jay Gordon Duncan. And if you're wondering why the J, the answer is I'm not a bagpipe player. And if that joke doesn't make any sense, I encourage you to check out episode 0, where I explain that joke as well as the purpose of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, where we talk about faith, family, fitness, finances, and sometimes fun. We might notice a couple of things if you are watching this episode. First of all, I am definitely in morning attire, and that's MORN. It is early, early. I've got a cap and a fleece on. It's early, and I'm speaking a little bit quietly. I don't want to wake anybody up. And I'm not in the studio, so you've got this virtual background here. Essentially, it's early morning. I'm not running today because the marathon was last week and I'm taking a few days off. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm just in the basement and I got to get some work done and I want to make sure I get the podcast out for you guys, which I appreciate all of you watching greatly every single week. And again, that's really it. I start every episode by thanking you guys. You're absolutely amazing. We're on 5 years now, nearly 40,000 listens. And just every single week you tune in, and I appreciate it a ton. So what I want to talk about this week, now that we've got all the pleasantries in and out and drinking a little coffee this morning, is that I want to talk about the beginning of my growth mindset journey. But it came to mind to me as I'm going through my Facebook memories every single day. I do that. And it was 5 years ago that I was in Vegas at the 10X GrowthCon. And I've shared the story of going to 10X GrowthCon several times. That's Grant Cardone's big event. He brings in speakers and, everyone's selling services. And he's promoting his 10X mindset and, of course, investing in his coaching services and his investment services. And the year I was there, Damon John was speaking, Tim Grover, author of Relentless, Michael Jordan's coach, spoke, Brad Lee spoke, of course, Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels was there, everybody. And it was a real experience for me to put me on a growth journey and a growth mindset. So I wanted to share that story with you. It's an encouragement because some of you are in the midst of your growth mindset journey. Some of you haven't started, or some really don't even know what I'm talking about. So let's start with a little bit of what the growth mindset is and what a growth mindset journey is for you. I was giving a talk the other day at my networking group. It's called 212 because at 211 you've got hot water, 212 is boiling. It's an extra degree of networking, right? And I was saying that I would take someone with a growth mindset over someone with a high intellect every day because growth mindset always beats intellect. And what I mean by that is a growth mindset is waking up every single day and asking, how can I get better? How can I grow? How can I grow spiritually and mentally and physically? How am I going to get better today? And that's the question of the growth mindset. And you might say that's simple, but it's not. Uh, most everyone I speak to doesn't approach their days that way. They're like, it's Monday, or I hate mornings, or, and part of that happens is because they don't have goals. Those goals aren't attached to systems. Their systems aren't attached to habits and disciplines. But a growth mindset says, I am going to get better every single day, and then design their entire life around that idea. So for me, a growth mindset, of course, I went to seminary. You guys know, a lot of you know that. And so for me, seminary was a long journey because I went part-time. It took me 5 years to get my master's degree. We studied Greek and Hebrew and ancient theologians and how to preach and lots of other things like that. And I would say that was definitely part of my growth journey because it really taught me how to exercise my mind. And every single day I was speaking and leading groups and very much started that path for me. Because I went to college to be an English teacher, but then there was sort of that break in between where, I wasn't really growing other than to just do my job. Well, seminary was great about teaching me to exercise my mind. Well, I began mountain biking when I was 35, and that started it. But when I became a marathon runner, wow, that's when the growth journey really kicked in because every day I had to pay attention to my body. And then also I had to learn very much so how to get better, better, faster. And then I got seizures. I started having seizures, and that very much, made me think about my nutrition and how do I protect my mind. And then what happened is, while I was a pastor and then I had a marketing company on the side, I just knew that I needed to improve my skills. And the journey of improving my mind had me reading people beyond what was typical for seminary, being a pastor. I was like, who are the people who are, exercising their minds? And I began listening to podcasts, but just a little. I kind of saw them as a burden. And I remember walking into a Barnes and Noble, and seeing the book by Lewis Howes, The School of Greatness, and it's just his face on the cover. And Lewis and I look a little bit alike, but definitely was a great cover because it looked like he was just staring right at you. And I picked it up and I'm like, who is this guy? And so immediately I was like, well, I didn't buy the book. I was cheap, and I was like, this is expensive. And I also was a broke pastor and I don't have the money to spend on it right now. So I hopped onto his podcast, The School of Greatness. And the book was about interviewing high performers and asking them how they got better every day. Now, this is a similar format to Tim Ferriss's podcast, and his famous book is The 4 Hour Work Week. And I was into that, and all of a sudden, I put myself in the world of podcasts and books about people who were asking themselves, how do we get better every day? So I'd say initially it was probably Tim Ferriss with the 4 Hour Work Week, but something about the School of Greatness and Lewis Howes and reading that book got me thinking, okay, and Lewis Howes puts out 3 podcasts a week, Monday, Wednesday, and a little 5-minute Friday on Fridays, or a replay on Fridays. And it got me thinking, okay, I need to improve every single day. What do I need to do to improve every single day? And that's a growth mindset. It's, I wake up today, how to improve my body, how to improve my mind, how to improve my spirit. What do I have to do? So I've got to set goals. I've got to set systems. That's a growth mindset. And the wonderful thing is you define what that mindset is for you. You define what that growth is for you. I don't define it for you. It's purely a matter of maturity and growth about yourself. And so no matter what your spirituality is, no matter what your physical fitness is, no matter what your intellect is, you decide that approach, and it's about getting better. For me, mine is rooted in the sense that I know that God has given me gifts and that he has called me to steward them or to manage them or to grow them. And so that's why our entire program is called Capitalize Your Best. I want to help you find what it is you've been gifted with, and we want you to capitalize on it and grow with it. So all that saying, 5 years ago, I went to Las Vegas at the 10X GrowthCon. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to put myself in a room around other people with a growth mindset. That's what that was my goal. So I asked for, I forget what it's, I asked for about 5 days off from being a pastor. Didn't really tell a lot of people what I was going to do. I just asked for the time off. I don't think I told anybody at church, maybe one person. I got a Spirit airline, which is the cheapest airline on the face of the planet. And I flew to Vegas. I got the cheapest room that I could. I got a hotel at the same place where the conference was. Was it the Bellagio? That sounds way more exotic than it was, but wherever it was the same place where that shooting had just taken place. So security was tight, but rooms were cheaper. And quite often, though, you can get a cheap room in Vegas, even in a nice place, because the goal is for you to then spend your money gambling. Which, interestingly enough, I didn't spend a penny on gambling, not because I was morally against it, but just because I didn't have any money. And I'm telling you what, it was fantastic. I put myself in a room with 10,000 people, had the cheapest seat available, $99. I met great people. I went there with the idea of promoting my consulting services, but they were really not defined. Really, it really wasn't. That was on me. I got to meet Lewis Howes, tell him how much of an impression he made on me. I met some crazy people at a restaurant, at a Hard Rock Cafe, who had an unlimited budget and paid for food and drink and a concert to see Black Label Society and wanted me to go out and party. And I was like, hey, I'm good. Um, Breakfast with some really just encouraging people. But the talks, even though the talks were always selling me something, I was still very much engaged. And it gave me an energy that I needed. I flew back on just an overnight flight, just a terrible flight. Someone had a seizure on the flight. It was not me. Um, the travel was tough, but you know what it was? It was an experience where I put myself around other people and it inspired me. Now, part of that is the reason why Capitalized Marketing does seminars. We've done, I was trying to think of the number of seminars the other day. When we started, we did free brown bag lunches where we would meet at the Chamber of Commerce or Wegmans, and you bring your own lunch, and we just gave away free marketing advice. Then we did a Finding Your Fit in the Fredericksburg Marketplace, which was helping local businesses stand out. And I think we charged $79 for that. And we got put about 20 people in the room, even had an event sponsor. It was a really great event. Then we had a second Finding Your Fit, but that was in March of 2020. That got canceled because of COVID. So we gave everybody their money back. We did our first Zoom seminar, which was really clunky, but everybody was clunky at that point in time. Then we did a Finding Your Fit in the social media marketplace, which was $279. And we worked in a workshop model for 3 hours to help local businesses walk away with a month's worth of content. I really enjoyed that one. It was smaller. We gave everybody coffee and food. It was a fun event. Then we established our Capitalize Your Best Facebook group, which I encourage you all to find Capitalize Your Best Facebook group, join, answer the 3 questions. We'd love to have you in there. We give away free daily content. And then on top of, and we did about 6 seminars in there. And in those 6 seminars, we did everything about social media, running seminars, making your first sale. We did about 6 of those. Then we did 2 John Maxwell leadership series that were physical series. We rented a really nice space. We did breakfast and lunch, brought in speakers. Those were huge, big financial investment. And then now we've moved to the online seminars where we do a full structure. We do 2 hours of a seminar. We do a 1 hour VIP. The seminars are free. The VIPs are paid. We did one in November about how you have your first 5-figure month. And then we've done our last 2, which are breaking the $250,000 barrier. Those have gone really well. Been really pleased with those. Upcoming, we've got one for eye doctors. We've got one for real estate industry. And so we create those growth mindset platforms where we can teach and inspire others. And then, of course, give them an opportunity to be a part of the Capitalize Your Best program. But for me, that was really what went all in when I went to 10X GrowthCon. And I made a financial commitment and said, this is going to be a lot of who I am. And my encouragement on this one is just to remind me to get back into my growth mindset, even though I do it daily. And I take this week post marathon where I get a little bit more rest. It's easy for me to kind of slip up, but it's a daily goal. And it's a daily discipline. And I encourage you guys to do the same. I encourage you to establish some goals, create systems, and create habits. And it just starts with day 1. And if you can do that, I truly think you are going to get an opportunity to grow and expand and begin to accomplish some of your goals. For me, I had to make a big commitment. I did. And that was a GrowthCon. I later went on to GrowthCon, another one, which was in Miami. It 35,000 people there, which was pretty amazing. It was at the Miami Marlin baseball stadium, and I enjoyed that one greatly. I got a contract from it and just continued that journey. So for you guys, ask yourself, what room do I need to put myself in? What book do I need to go to? What seminar I need to go to? What program do I need to sign up for? What do I need to encourage and grow in my growth mindset, or do I even have one? If I can help you in any way, just reach out to me for a quick 15-minute discovery call. And I'll put that link in the show notes, and I'll be glad to talk to you through that. And if you'll follow that process, we'll set up a 15-minute call. I'll be glad to talk to you about what that would look like for you and your business. But ask yourself, what would a growth mindset do for me? Where would I grow? How would I change? And so for me, my friends, I'm going to continue my journey. I'm going to keep sharing it here. And I hope that I can be an encouragement to you. If you want to set up a 15-minute discovery call with me, the link is in the show notes. Reach out to me. And if you are interested in a long form coaching program, 6 months, that would actually transform you and your business, you can find out more about that at capitalizeyourbest.com. Or again, just reach out to me on any of the social media platforms. We can talk about that during the 15-minute discovery call. But friends, I appreciate you sitting with me with the change of venue, the change of appearance. I hope you have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week. Thanks so much, friends. Bye-bye.